Am I the jerk for wanting my spouse to come home after work? I am a 32-year-old female who has been married to my husband, who is also 32 years old, for 5 years. We both work full-time and have a 1-year-old child together. I do all of the housework and cooking and pay my share of the bills. He makes about twice what I do and pays a larger portion of the bills because of this. He works between 6 and 7 days a week, so when he is not working, I expect him to prioritize me and our child. This is so I can get help and spend some time with him. The problem is he cannot or will not say no when people ask for favors and is constantly out helping his friends when he has time off. We rarely have date nights or any fun activities together unless I plan them. Even Mother's Day had to be planned by me. This has been a recurring issue. I never feel like I am a priority, more like a minor inconvenience. It is lonely, and I do not feel important to him. His defense when I bring this up is that he works hard and does not go out and party every night, so I have no right to complain. These things are true, and I truly do appreciate his hard work, but I work hard too, and it is important to me to spend time together. Now to the present. He was working last weekend, and I got a stomach bug. I was vomiting and had diarrhea all day. I was also chasing after our very active toddler and still got my weekend chores done. Needless to say, I was ready for help at the end of the day. My husband called after work to check in, and I told him how sick I was. He said he would be home soon. About 45 minutes later, I was feeding our son in the kitchen and saw him pull into the driveway and then turn around and leave. I called him, and he said a coworker who is new in town asked if my husband could drive around with him after work to see the town. Normally, this would not be a big deal. However, he knew I was sick and did not check in to see if that would be okay or even ask if I needed anything. It made me feel like I was an afterthought as usual. If he had been sick, there is no way he would take care of the toddler all day, and he would expect to be waited on hand and foot. He is a huge baby when he is sick. If he did have our child, I would have known to come home and would have asked if he needed anything because I care how he feels and would want to make him feel better. When he got home 30 minutes later, I was admittedly worked up and probably a little extra dramatic because of feeling terrible and exhausted. We got into a fight over it. I realized 30 minutes is not a long time, but I was so looking forward to the help, and he knew this. I tried to explain why my feelings were hurt, but he would not even try to put himself in my shoes. All I got was, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and irritation for the rest of the evening. So, am I the asshole for getting mad over this? You did nothing improper. He knows you're home, sick as a dog, alone with the toddler, and he's giving a new coworker a car tour. Putting aside the fact that you're a married single mother doing all the housework and taking care of 2 children, child and husband. Your husband heard you were ill and elected to spend his time away from you instead of stepping in and taking care of his child and his sick wife. He is telling you very loudly that you aren't his priority. Am I the jerk for wanting my partner's childhood nanny out of our house? Hi, Aita. I am a female with a long-term boyfriend. During the pandemic, we decided to find a house that we could afford. Coincidentally, the place where we found our house is just 30 minutes away from my partner's childhood nanny, and they are still in contact. She says that she will visit when we are all settled in our new home. We started living there around February 26, and the nanny visited on March 1 of the same year. It was all good at the start, thinking that she would just be there for a maximum of 2 weeks. Sadly, I was wrong. 3 months passed and she was still there. I asked my partner, I thought she would just be visiting, but it's already 3 months, and she's still here. When is she going to go home? He said he didn't know. She does most of the housework and says that it's normal for her to do that every day. On the 6th month, she was still there. We were afraid to tell her to move out because she is an old woman, and we would look and feel awful if we told her to move out. We decided to give her a monthly allowance as she was doing almost all the housework. We are working on our jobs from home. Mind you, we don't tell her what to do. She just does it of her own accord. We are just free to do things after work. 2 years passed, and my annoyance with her started to grow. There are several reasons. First, there are decisions in the house that my partner and I have disagreements with, and she also has her own opinion on those matters. I think that those matters should only be settled between the couple. Second, she likes to collect junk. She likes to collect instant noodle cups that she uses as drinking cups even though we have a number of drinking glasses at home. She also collects the big mineral water bottles from the neighbor to use as water jugs, even if we already have 2 water jugs at home. It came to a point where we already had 5 jugs from the neighbor and our own 2 water jugs, so a total of 7. It's a pain to see as those are unnecessary things to collect. 2 is enough. I asked the neighbor to not give their empty mineral water bottles to her, and they agreed. Third, I am unable to move in the living room and kitchen because she murmurs all the time. She sleeps in the living room because the second bedroom is upstairs, and she's old and it's hard to go up and down every time. Understandable, but when I try to cook or do something in the kitchen, she's non-stop murmuring. Also, she sometimes sings something like when I'm cooking, she sings she's cooking. I think she doesn't know that she's speaking already or singing what's on her mind. It's really annoying, and because of that, I only go downstairs when I am about to go to the office, to the restroom, or to eat. Fourth, I learned that she keeps telling our neighbors that I don't do housework. There's a lot more to type, but I am out of characters. Am I the asshole? You are the jerk here, OP, for allowing her to stay so long. How does a person live under your roof for 2 years without you having a conversation about what's going on? She's moved in permanently, she's never leaving, and you'll be wiping her butt when she can't. Either your boyfriend had a deal with her behind your back, or you both are doormats. Am I the jerk for going with my mom? I am a 16-year-old male. I have been in this foster home for a few months. I went into the system at 12 years old. I grew up with bad parents. My dad got arrested, but my mom did not. The day before yesterday, I got really bored at school and was very irritated with everything because my caretakers were nagging me to stop skipping therapy. I am required to be there, but I do not want to talk about my life or past. They grounded me. I try to throw the therapist off by pretending to be a positive perfectionist and saying how I love life. I skipped class and went to a park. I already had a bottle of vodka and Sprite in my backpack, so I took little swigs. I got a call from a random number. I was tipsy at this point and picked up the call. It was my mom, whom I have not met since I was 12 years old. I did want to see her because I was curious to know how she was doing after everything happened, despite her traumatizing my younger self. I told her where I was and she actually came. I have no idea how she got my number. I kind of expected her not to come. It was different seeing her. She sat with me on a bench and told me about her life, how she was married to a finance guy, and how she might be expecting a child. She thanked me for calling the police on her and my dad, although she was angry during the court proceedings. She told me she could take me with her on a trip to another city and that she would even buy me clothes. I really wanted to go because this was a new change, and I knew my foster parents would refuse. I called my caretakers and told them that I was going to go, so they should not call the police if they think I am missing. I told them I wanted to go and would come back, that I did not care about anything else, and that it was my decision. Of course, they found me when I was in the car with her and stopped me from going. Rookie mistake. I got really mad and refused to leave my room for anything for a day. Now they are mad at me and tell me that I was dumb for going with someone with her history and that she could have put me in danger, but I do not care. You're partly to blame. Beyond the issues with being drunk, there is a reason that your mother has no visitation. Your caretakers are trying to keep you from derailing and ending up messed up beyond repair. They could get in serious trouble for you skipping and leaving with an adult who was court-ordered to not have custody of you. If your mom truly wanted to be involved in your life again, she should have done it the legal way. Am I the jerk for avoiding my friend because of her boyfriend? Hi, I am an 18-year-old female in medical university, and I am an international student. I am in my first year and have a friend who is also an 18-year-old female and an international student. Because we are both international students and there are so few of us, we became friends and rely on each other for help. Now this friend of mine is so sweet, and she's a big help to me. For example, I had to go to the hospital for an emergency at night, and she was the one who came to accompany me. She's always telling me that I can rely on her and giving me food. She's basically my family away from home, especially on holidays. I really do like her, but I keep my distance because of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is also an international student, and they started dating 13 days after meeting each other. Honestly, before I even knew his name, I took one look at him and didn't like him. He gave me the creeps, and I still dislike him even after talking with him for group projects. He gives punk vibes, and honestly, I don't think this relationship is going to last for long. I don't even think she knows why she's dating him. She complains about him, and honestly, I think she's dating him because she's lonely and craving love, affection, and attention. From what she told me, she only has her older brother to rely on. I feel bad because sometimes I cancel plans with her because she tells me she's bringing her boyfriend along. I think she's kind of got the hint that people in the class are avoiding her because of her boyfriend. Before, at the start of the year, everyone was new and getting to know each other, so her boyfriend had a lot of people surrounding him. Now he's basically a loner, and during lunch, my friend and her boyfriend hang out alone. When they started dating, it was the talk of the town. Even the lecturers came to know and asked her about it. No one likes her boyfriend. He's really annoying, and people talk about them behind their back and avoid them. He makes things very awkward. For example, we were taking a group photo for an event, and the class clown was making some funny noises. No one minded, but it was my friend who was taking the photo, so her boyfriend got mad and shouted for him to stop bothering his girlfriend. The whole class got silent and awkward, and even she looked embarrassed. It wasn't a big deal for him to yell at everyone. Another reason I avoid her is because people judge you for who you hang out with, and I don't want people to have a bad judgment of me because of her boyfriend. I feel really bad, but is it justified? Am I the asshole? Friends are honest with each other, so it might be a good idea to talk to her about how you feel regarding her boyfriend. You don't have to trash him. Just say you'd prefer to hang out with her one-on-one. Setting a boundary is totally fair if you don't vibe well with him. Ultimately, hang out with who you want to and be upfront about your feelings. Am I the jerk for telling my partner that I do not want to be near their parent anymore? Hi, I am a 24-year-old male, and my girlfriend is a 23-year-old female. We have been dating for 6 years, and things have been great except for one thing: her mom. My girlfriend's mom is a very toxic individual who suffers from several mental health issues and has a record of being emotionally and verbally abusive towards my girlfriend for the majority of her life. I have witnessed multiple situations in which she has cussed out my girlfriend and threatened to kick her out of the house to the streets for simple mistakes, such as forgetting to put clean dishes in the cabinet or taking out the trash. She has full-blown temper tantrums when my girlfriend wants to do anything with her social life and basically forces my girlfriend to cancel any plans she has made. There are also more severe problems that I am not going to get into. She has created several fights in our relationship by implanting lies about how I feel about my girlfriend inside my girlfriend's head, to the point where she nearly believes it. Most of these lies deal with infidelity, which I have never done and never will do. Despite all this, my girlfriend still loves her mom and has taken the initiative of being her caretaker and sole financial provider. She has technically been doing this since high school, as her mom has chosen not to work in almost 2 decades. My girlfriend has been doing this up until a few months ago because we recently got our first apartment together after college graduation. Unfortunately, this has not sat well with her mom, as she constantly makes statements about how she needs help with bills or will end up homeless. This is false because her mom's government assistance covers all her bills and leaves a decent amount of money left for her to do as she pleases. Whenever I am around, she looks at me angrily every time she says it, almost like she is implying it is my fault. This continued when we went to a restaurant after the graduation, where her mom made a whole scene regarding the situation and started berating my girlfriend in front of everyone in the restaurant. After dropping her mom off at her house later that evening, I opened up to my girlfriend that I honestly do not want to do activities involving her mother or be around her anymore, unless it is a once or twice a year kind of deal, because of how she constantly creates problems and tries to make me feel uncomfortable. My girlfriend understood very well and was fine with this. However, after talking about these problems with my brother during a general conversation about the state of our current relationships with our girlfriends, he stated that this might be a bad move that could further strain the relationship between my girlfriend and her mother. He suggested that I should just deal with it for the time being versus trying to avoid her mother and create additional drama that could loop in the rest of my girlfriend's family. Would moving forward with my decision truly make me an asshole? You did the right thing. Open communication is important, and now your girlfriend knows how you feel. You creating and maintaining boundaries when it comes to what you're willing to accept from her mom could actually end up being a good thing for your girlfriend if she sees that she can do that as well. But at the end of the day, you are not responsible for your girlfriend's relationship with her mom, especially not at the cost of your own well-being. Am I the jerk for not wanting to take a job? I, a 26-year-old female, and my partner, a 30-year-old male, have been together for almost 5 years. I had a degree in a field that didn't make much money when we first met. After about a year of working, I knew it was not sustainable to live off this income, so I applied for a degree with a specific goal in mind, to become a cosmetic injector. To do this, you must be a doctor, nurse, or dentist, and you can make a lot of money. I applied for a Bachelor of Science in Nursing because it was the shortest program. I got into a school across the country, but I wanted to make more money for us, so I needed to move us. My partner was upset but did not want to be a part, nor did I. Unfortunately, the school I got into was in a city my partner hated. We spent 2 years here and I just finished my degree. Another part of the story is that this whole time we have been planning on moving to his country, of which I am not a citizen. It becomes very difficult for me to get a job now without a visa. Here is where the argument comes in. There are 2 visa options for us. Most likely, each process will take 6 months. One way, I would be stuck in a job that I absolutely hate on a visa that is not easy to change. It would require me to be on a hospital visa as a nurse. When working in the hospital and school, I fell into depression, had thoughts of suicide, and ended up on antidepressants. It was a very awful time for me. There is another visa that would also take about 6 months. I would have flexibility in jobs and more options in applying. I am also open to working other nursing jobs that are not as traumatizing to me. There are a couple of areas I have considered if cosmetic nursing is not an option for me right away. My partner wants me to take a hospital job because we are short on money. He thinks that it's the quickest and easiest way to get me working and us money. I do not want to do this because I think the other option is better. It will take relatively the same amount of time and I can have more career options. Am I the asshole for wanting to go this other visa route? I want us to have more money too, but I think even if it takes an extra month or 2, it would be more worth it to save my mental health and have a career I enjoy. You did nothing improper. He could go ahead if he's that desperate to move, and you can join him once the visa is approved. It's a bit selfish of him to not wait a couple of months, especially after everything you've done to secure your career. It seems like he's not considering the bigger picture here. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.